Hello and welcome back to another video about automation. In this video we will discuss about how can we create a Selenium test case using Visual Studio Code and C#. VS Code has been on the market for some time, but on the last 5 to 6 years the adoption among developers has been increased. And now we can say it remains one of the preferred IDEs or code editors across all developers. Maybe a few reasons why this is happening is because it's free, built on open source, runs everywhere, it supports hundreds of programming languages, also it has a lot of integrations like GitHub Copilot and Docker. Now first things first, we need to install .NET. If you don't have it, go to .NETmicrosoft.com and here we find standard term support and long-term support versions, and I recommend to go with the latest long-term support version. Click on it. And here select the operating system. I have Windows, download and just install it. After the installation is done, we can open a command prompt and check the .NET version. Everything is fine here and we are done with .NET installation. Let's download and install one more thing, which is the code editor. So go to codevisualstudio.com and here select the build for your operating system and click on download. It's important to mention this is a code editor and we have to install some extensions depending on the programming language we are using. So let's go to Extensions tab and here let's search for C#. When searching for an extension, I recommend to read everything is here, like author, number of downloads, ratings, details, dependencies. Also, it's very important to check the license. As we can see, C# extension has MIT license. As you can see here, we have a recommended install, which is C# Dev Kit. Let's have a look at it. Indeed, it has a lot of features like project and solution management via an integrated solution explorer, so very familiar with what's happening in Visual Studio. And let's scroll down to license, and here we can see it's free for individuals, academia and open source development, just like Visual Studio Community. But for organizations, this is included with Visual Studio Professional and Enterprise subscriptions. Anyway, in this video we are not going to install C# Dev Kit, so let's go back to C# extension and install it. It will take few seconds and that's it. Going forward we'll be using the terminal very much, so let's open this if it's not open. From terminal, select new terminal. Here I will change the working directory to my workspace folder. And I will create some directories where we will create the solution and the project. Let's open this C# folder, select the path and click on Select Folder. Let's switch back to terminal. First we want to create a solution, so let's do that. .NET new SLN. And as you can see on the left side we have a new .sln file. Back to terminal, this time we will create a new project, a new class library project. Let's call it Selenium Tests. Now we want to add this project in our solution. .NET SLN add project name. And we can see now in .sln file we got a new project reference, which is Selenium tests. We can close this file for now. If we check the ksproj file, we can see the target framework is .NET 8, but we have no dependencies added yet, so let's do this. NuGet is the package manager for .NET, so let's go to nuget.org, and here we can search for the packages we want to install. Here click on the copy button and paste the command in terminal. We'll do the same for Selenium support. And unit. We also need an unit retest adapter. And the last package we are going to install is Microsoft.NET Test SDK. So let's do this. That's it, and as you can see, the ksproj file has been updated. We have .NET Test SDK and unit retest adapter, and Selenium WebDriver with Selenium support, which is optional. Let's do a recap. We created this C# folder. Inside this folder we created a new solution file. In this solution we created a new class library project, and using NuGet and .NET command we installed all the packages needed to create a Selenium test case. If we get such pop-up to add required assets to build and debug, click on yes, and if you don't have one, you will get one when you reopen VS Code. Switching back to terminal, let's build the project using .NET build. Before implementing the test, I want to rename this file to Selenium tests and do the same with the class name. We'll implement a simple Selenium method. To mark this method as a test, we have to use test attribute, which comes from NUnit. Then we create a Chrome driver instance. And we'll be using the driver to navigate to Selenium web page. And here we want to check the page title equals Selenium. And at the end, let's not forget to call the driver quit, and that's it. Just to double check the page title, we can open Web Developer Tools, and here we can search for title tag. And as we can see, this equals Selenium. So our assert should be true. Let's introduce a category we will be using to run the test cases, and we will name it Selenium. Do not forget to save the changes, and now let's go back to terminal and run another .NET build. Okay, build succeeded. And now we are ready to run the test case. We have few options here. For example, either we can use NUnit console runner, or we can use .NET command. I will leave a link in the description to see both of those options, but this time I will be using .NET command, so let's do this. Because we have a class library project, the .NET build command will generate for us a DLL file, which is under bin debug folders. And as we can see, our test cases started to run and everything is fine. Regarding the running the test case, this is how we can run it from terminal. But what if we want to run the test case from VS Code? Well, there is an option for this, so let's go back to extensions and this time let's search for .NET Core Test Explorer and install it. After the installation is done, we should get this new testing tab, and if it's not open, you can go to view and select testing. And from here, as we can see, we have our test, which is called first test. We have some buttons to run all test cases or to run a specific test case. If we double click on it, it will open our test case. Let's give it a run. Test case is running. And of course, another benefit of this is we can easily debug the test case. Right click on the test case and select debug. And as we can see above our test method, we have new links to run the test or debug the test. Yes, so that's everything on how we can use VS Code and create a Selenium test case, how we can create a project, how we can install all the dependencies. And if you are still here, thank you very much for your time and see you in the next one. Bye.